All right, so I hope everyone is excited to get some new knowledge tonight. A little bit about myself. My name is Edward Ilaco. I'm a student at Florida Tech here at Melbourne, Florida, studying construction management and recently a part of Ali Shan's team and by extension Shabir's team. Originally Shabir and Mohammed, and so originally from Nairobi, Kenya, and yeah, came here to the States to study and I guess do business, and also on the swim team, so somewhat of an athlete, and
Oh,
going into my senior
very
year this fall, so that's exciting, and yeah, so I shall be your host tonight, and the main objective of tonight is to discuss the second week night owl and a brief description of what the second week night owl is basically how to create a more predictable and stable business so that when you get to higher pins, it's easier to manage your business. And so at this point, I'll ask that you turn on your videos or keep them on and mute your microphones as I introduce our first speaker of the night. And so our first speaker of the night is, none other than Shabir. And from my encounters with him, I can tell he's a man of jolly character. But even more than that, he's been able to build a big business. Make a lot of money from his student days at sunny Buffalo. He's now graduated, project manager at Pittsburgh. And yeah, Shabir has established business in 5 countries: US, Canada, UK, Australia, and India. So that's a punch, guys. Nothing to play with. So with that being said, I'll hand it over to the maestro himself, Shabir.
oh man.
Take it up. Cheers.
Oh man, Edward, you're too kind, man. Really thankful for the awesome introduction.
Yeah.
I feel humbled. I don't think I can step up to the plate. But, well, yeah, guys. My name is Shabir. Those of you who don't know me, my background is actually I work as a project manager here as a Fortune 500 company. Those of you who know we're Bosch, the Bosch German company. We make MEMS microphones. That's what I do in my day job. And I also actually got started in the business when I was a student. And guess who sponsored me? Well, Mohammed Khan one day met me in the hallways and he asked me if I wanted to make money. And the answer was a yes. And well, that's when I saw the business opportunity for the first time, and I never hesitated getting started because uh, I knew even though I didn't trust the person that I met. I also trusted the system that hey, everybody that is building the business has been building it for a reason. So there's got to be something I can learn from. So yeah, basically, I thank Mohammed for putting me on schedule to let me getting the talk. So I thank him. What my purpose of talking today is just to like get 5 6 minutes down with the idea of what the second week night owl call is. Now, for all intents and purposes, for me the word night owl is actually very funny. So every time I used to think about the word night owl, I thought there's some owl in the night and we have to go get it or something like what's the point, like why do you call it online night owl? Right. So again, oh hi Mr. Moise, nice to see you, sir. Okay. So yeah, again, so I'm going to be starting to talk about what the second week night owl exactly is. And after I did some due diligence, it was basically a conference call for all the leaders, and it's a special training like a Zoom call slash conference call on your phone that the top leaders of the team put together to train the people that are actually physically doing the business work. As in, there's one way of doing the work, which is to get your account set up, and that's it. However, there's another way of doing the work, which is actually physically getting involved into the activities and actually building the business and learning your skill sets. So the basically the second week night owl is basically a call that you have for special training. It would happen sometime at the middle of the month. So I think this month we are having someone that's actually going to be doing our call, and his name is Gaurav Verma. And again, those of you who know Gaurav is his business is pretty big, so I would definitely get a chance to get whoever he is get wherever he is. Like I want to get into his thought process and learn how the business what he does for himself. Obviously, you don't really run a $1 million business by just not knowing much. So I understood that I had to be in the association of these persons. Now, how do you qualify for the call? So there's very simple qualification criteria. Number one is that those of you who know that when you get your account set up, you have some points that are in your account. Okay. And every month, the business that you generate, the points that you generate from shopping and clients and whatever, it totals up to a point total, and then it just resets at the end of the month. And every first of the month, it goes back to zero. So that basically means is that the company generates the volume repetitively every month. It's not something that I can make 1,000 points this month and then start from 500 the next. That's not how it works. And it could be the same if you're at 0 points right now. That's okay. If you're at 1,000 points or if you're above, like someone like Nasser, it doesn't matter. You still have to start from zero with your team from scratch. Uh, so the qualification criteria is 50 PV in the first week of the month. 50 PV could be through clients, it could be through personal volume. Normally 50 PV is there because you want to have a consistent volume and shopping in your business network. And Mohammed's going to talk about more about the implications of the call itself, but 50 PV for me meant that I'm going to make sure to get my stuff that I have to eat throughout the month in my first 10 days. Why? Because if there's 50 PV in my virtual office and my goal in the end of the month is to get to 150, then my coach can actually sit down with me and he can help me out. The worst thing that I had the case of going through was that having 0 points in my account and having to like place a large order at the end of the month. Okay, we don't want that to happen to you. Why? Because if you spend the money throughout the month somewhere else, then it'll be really difficult for you to budget your expenses. So what we do is we get 50 points is normally what the qualification is. So let's say if you have a team of 5 people that does 50 PV the first 10 days, that gives you a very stable foundation. That's like 250 points, right? So that gives you a stable foundation. The other thing, uh, it's called standing order, right? Standing order.
What?
Oh, hey. Okay, Ahmed's here. Okay, Ahmed, can you mute yourself? Wait, we'll just go over that. Awesome. So yeah, so standing order is the other qualification. Those of you who know what the CDs are and the BSM audios are, that's basically every week, Brit Worldwide, they send out one CD that they recorded at a conference, and they give it to you on your phone. And because those of you who have finished the CDs, they have probably been finished by other people's expenses. Why? Because we try to get going without having to purchase the tracks for yourself. That's why we include that in their startup kit. That hey, if you give us an extra 20 bucks, we'll get you your BSM accounts there. But down the line, standing order subscription just means that you have 8 bucks a week that go into getting one track for yourself so you can grow your business. And again, Mohammed's going to touch up how that implies, but the idea is that everybody in the whole Brit Worldwide system, the whole millions of people, millions of business partners get the same CD. And the reason we actually have that as a qualification for the call is because so we know as uplines that hey, the person in my team is actually investing in learning his business skills. Versus, me having to purchase the CDs, because again, if you have a team of 10 and all of them expect you to purchase CDs from them, you will have a trouble. So that's why we have the leadership standing as the night owl qualification. Because if you're qualified for the night owl, that means you're doing something right. And I know people in the call that have qualified 6 straight months. When they do that, boom, their business changes the complexion in the next 6 months. Why? Because if you're just getting started and you're alone, if you have a habit of doing the right things, the people that start, they're going to see you, they're going to think it's the right thing to do. If you do it the wrong way, then again, Mohammed's going to touch about that, then what's going to happen is not going to be sustained growth. It's going to be like if you go to a very high pin one month and then get back to zero the next month. And we don't want that to happen, right? So good. The other thing he writes, why do you want to consistently want to qualify for the call? Same thing. If you're doing it right the first time, the people that are going to come into your network, they're going to think it's okay, and they're going to budget their expenses to purchase their edibles and stuff the first 10 days of the month. Why? Because it really helps the upline and you learning how to build the business, and then you can help them out that hey, maybe you're at 50 points, maybe in the next 20 days we can actually bridge that gap up and get you to your goal, versus you being at zero and then panicking in the 28th and thinking, hey, I don't want to miss my goal. So that's why we have the leadership call. And then again, what do you learn from the night owl call? Learn from the night owl call. I remember what they normally teach us is that the night owl call is for people who are actually engaged in the 4 basics. So the 4 basics is basically how to build the network properly. And the other thing that they teach you normally is the posture and how to carry yourself in the night owl call. Now, again, I'm not going to go into the detail of what the call is. You will have to qualify for you to like actually learn from Gaurav. But what they talk about is actually long-term sustainability in your business. Because again, if you're alone, you're building the business as a student. things might get out of hand. But then what I normally do is I make sure to keep a separate budget for any products that I want to use, and I try to eat out less. Why? Because if I eat out every day like my colleagues do, that's an extra $10 that I waste. And if that's extra $10 a day, that means $300 is going into someone else's business, not mine, right? So the idea is that basically we have to be very specific in how we use our money. Again, I still eat outside. I still eat like once or twice a week. So the other things, I get a rice cooker, I cook, and whatever I need to have breakfast with, I use my basic points and get my order in the start of the month to qualify for the call. And that way, my coaches, they know that I'm serious. Because if I'm on that call, and if Mohammed's looking at my team and he's going, hey, this person is on this call, that means he deserves some recognition because he's doing the work, right? And again, how does it help your business in the long term? Long term, let's say in the next 6 months, you consecutively qualify for Secondary Night Owl. You have good ownership of your business. And again, the fun thing is when you put the order in, like when I put the order in, I actually felt compelled to do more activity. Honestly, because if I had not done the activity that previous month, then I feel down, and then I feel, hey, do I have to do it this month? Maybe I could show the plans next month or whatever. This actually gives you some ownership, because when you see 50 PV on your account, you can then reevaluate your goal. That, hey, I can get into the next phase of the bracket. I can get from 6% to 9% or whatever. And again, then obviously when Gaurav and Sapna and people like the big leaders, they teach you how to put together the business, then it accelerates your growth up faster. And 6 months straight qualification, I know Nasser, who was having a lot of trouble, for example, in the business in the start, but I know for a fact that every six months he's qualified for the call consistently. And right now he's well over 1,000 PV, and he's probably going to blaze past 1,500 PV with the structure he has. It's no secret that the Night Owl call trainings really helped him. So yeah, I think I'm going to pretty much be done now. And again, if there's any questions, I'll be hanging out. And of course, I'm going to pass it up to my business coach himself. I thank him for putting the call together. And he's going to be talking about the concerns and mindset behind the call itself and what issues normally people have. And again, with that, I'm going to bring up Mohammed. Mohammed is the most dedicated leaders in my whole team. So, he is physically flying into places where people, back down. And he's the person who has a very big heart, because if you're in his team and you're doing the work, he's actually going to physically fly and sit down with you, even if you're halfway across the country. So, that's why I always feel indebted to him and the help he's giving me and my team. Because again, if my business grows because of him, then it's obviously because he had the heart to help the people in my team. So yeah, with that, over to Muhammad Khan. Please help me welcome.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much, Shabir. Yeah, very well covered. Excellent. You went over a lot of the details of how the Night Owl works. Again, what I wanted to cover was, why are the Night Owl calls important? So to kind of take 2 steps back, right? What is the point of this business? Right? What is the idea that you're trying to get at? The idea long term, right, is to create a sustainable, predictable business. Okay, meaning you shouldn't be sitting at your desk at some point in the future when you've been doing this business for a while. You should be able to look into your virtual desktop, or maybe draw out your team and say, you know what, I can predict this much volume is going to be moving through my network, or I could predict within the next 30 days this is what my income is going to be. Okay, that's really the idea of it, right? You want to be able to. That's the point of business you're trying to reach for. Okay, now in order to have predictable, sustainable long-term income, you have to have predictable and sustainable habits. Okay, if you're kind of waiting there and you're kind of saying, okay, you know what, when my team does something, then I'll start doing things. Okay, what happens is you'll have 20 other people exactly like you in your team. Okay, they will wait for their person in their team to wait and do something before they do something. All right, and you see how that ripple effect is going to go way, way, way down the line. Okay, so what is the idea? What does the Night Owl call do? For those of you guys that haven't seen the post on the Ramachandran group, on the 7th or the 10th of every month, there's a big call, just like what Shabir mentioned. Okay, the idea is that by the 7th or the 10th of the month, you want to get your personal volume out of the way. Okay, just like what Shabir mentioned. And again, I'm going to be kind of jumping around all over the place. So I'm just going to kind of share what I've been told by basically Vinod. I'm just going to pass that information along. By the 7th of the month, okay, if you still see a big 0 on your account, what usually happens is you say, you know what, I was aiming for such and such goal. I'm already a third of the way done with the month and I'm still at 0. the next goal you're trying to hit is going to look so much further away. Okay. But if you automate your good habits, what happens is if you get your personal stuff out of the way, you already have a little bit of a head start. Okay. Whatever head start that may be. Okay. Maybe you're trying to go for, maybe you're trying to finish your fast track. Maybe you're trying to hit 300 points. Okay. If you and 3-4 other people in your team have automated those good habits, what will happen is you'll be able to predict by the 7th or the 10th of every month, this is what my volume is going to be. Okay. Now that is the idea, right? That's what creates a sustainable long-term income. But why is it that people don't qualify? Okay. Let me, and I'll give you reasons why I didn't qualify when I was first getting started in the business. Number one, I didn't budget my income. Okay. For those of you guys that don't know, I had a full ride to college, right? The only thing I had to pay for was dorm. Okay. Which means you give a 19-year-old that much money, you're going to blow itself. Okay. Which is exactly what happened with me. Okay. I had the option of either, buying what I needed for myself through my own business or buying more tasty food outside. Chipotle is so much better than some of the meal bars. Okay. But what happened was that I was trading my long-term goals for that short-term pleasure. Okay. 50 PV for students, 100 PV for professionals. To be honest, it's really not that hard. Okay. And I'll show you exactly what I do. I have a few products here. Okay. So this is XS. Okay. XS is, it's about 8 or 9 PV. If you drink one XS every single day, okay, because you're probably going to buy soda or something outside anyways, right? If you drink one XS every single day, that's 8 points per box, right? So you'll probably need about 3 boxes. Okay. The second item I usually get is, I must have eaten it already. I did eat it already. Okay. So are these meal bars? Okay. Pretend there's something in here. Okay. These meal bars. Okay. These meal bars, again, they cost about $2. All right. What I do is I have one every single day. Okay. Which means if I have one for the entire month, that's about, whatever that I forgot what the number is. Okay. But I have one XS, one meal bar, and then maybe I have some vitamins, or maybe I have like a meal replacement shake. Okay. Just these 3 items. If you add that up, one every single day for the entire month, that's about 48 points. Okay. We haven't gotten into sales. We haven't gotten into, bathroom items. We haven't gotten into kitchen, nothing. All we did was we replaced one snack or one small breakfast. Okay. If you can do that every single month and you show other people in your team how to do that, imagine, when you have 30 people in your team, all right, everyone, all they're doing is having a small snack from their business every day. 30 times 50, right? Oh my God.
1500, bro.
Sorry. 1,500 points. You could say by the 7th, I'll have 1,500 points in my business, no matter what. Okay. The average 1,500 PV makes about $200 to $300 a month. Okay. So you want to be able to automate that. Okay. So those are some of the products I get. Okay. And again, these are some of the mistakes I've made that I'm sharing with you, right? What I used to do is I used to have the reaction mentality versus the proactive. Okay. What I would do is I would kind of wait for my team to do something, right? I go around, I say, hey, you know what you could do 50 PV while I'm still eating McDonald's outside. Okay. What happened was by the end of the month, because I didn't really plan that out, I would always miss my goal by just a little bit, maybe 50 points, maybe 100 points. Okay. That, again, kind of doing that reactive thing. And then what would end up happening is to make up that gap, I would actually spend extra money out of my pocket just to make that gap up. Okay. Which in the end would waste a whole lot of money from my side. All right. Some of those products, and again, the mistakes I made, I just bought some extra stuff. I just kind of kept it in my room. Right. So I would not like you guys to do that. It's a big waste of money. All right. So I would have that reactive mentality. Okay. And what that did was actually hurt me in the end. Okay. I either had the option of not hitting my next goal, which means I lost a lot of money, or I have to spend extra money out of my pocket in the last 1 or 2 days of the month, which still, again, I lost a lot of money. Okay. That's not the idea of building this business. Okay. Remember, sustainable long-term income requires sustainable and predictable actions. Okay. That's one of the things I do. And waiting on people. Okay. So that's really one of the main concerns I had, right? A couple other things that kind of stopped me from qualifying on the call was I didn't really understand what kind of value the call had. Okay, I'll just mention the last 4 months. Okay, the last 4 months, the people we had on the Night Owl calls, Gaurav and Sapna Verma, they're in the process of reaching the diamond level by next year. Average diamonds in North America make about $200,000 to $300,000 a year. Okay, Gaurav Verma. Okay, we had other people like Vinoda Nabila. They were on the Night Owl call one day. Okay, they're this fiscal year they're going to be qualifying as something called a sapphire. Okay, average sapphires, their combined income is going to be less than their sapphire income through their Amway business. Okay, and they don't have like part-time job. They're both project managers at their job. Okay, so them, Rashmi Jyoti Prakash, our upline executive diamond. Some of you guys may have heard his CDs. He's been on the Night Owl calls as well. Okay, so when I first said, when they get on the call, it's about 20 to 30 minutes, honestly, probably around the length of this call. When I didn't understand who was on it, and when I did, what happened was what I wanted to do was I wanted to be around people who thought that way. Okay, what is the idea of listening to CDs and going to associations? So you could be around other people who think that way. Okay, what it did for me was it made me feel very uncomfortable. Okay, because I was thinking at such a level. All right, when I was at 300 points, when I was at 600 points, I was thinking at some kind of level. Okay, for that kind of a person, for that kind of mindset, to be sitting with a guy that has built a global empire that does millions of dollars of revenue a month. Okay, that is a huge paradigm shift. Okay, and what do you think will happen when you hang out with people like that very often? When you hear people like that very often, who directly are sitting on a call on the other line with you, not on a CD, who are directly addressing problems and situations in your team. Right? Imagine what kind of an impact that would have on you. All right. So that when I heard about that and I really understood what the call had to offer, I wanted to do whatever it took to get there. Okay. And again, it's really just budgeting your income. That's really the whole thing. Okay. Be it students, be it professionals, whatever it may be. Okay. Don't make 50 PV a mountain. Okay. I'm sure all of you guys that are on the call are looking to create lots and lots of money through this business. Okay. I'm guessing not a lot of you guys get into this to make $50. Okay, making $50 is not a big deal. All right, sell 1 or 2 products, make some retail profit, you're done. Okay, but if you want the long-term goals, all right, again, you want to have a long-term, predictable, sustainable business. You need predictable and sustainable habits. Okay, every month even when I was back in school, at the beginning of the month, I always knew, 40 to 50 points of bars and excess or whatever it is that I need, vitamins. This is what I'm going to get no matter what. Okay. Now, I'm not saying those are things you need to buy. Check it out yourself, right? Maybe you don't like excess, or maybe you don't like the bars, or maybe you don't like something else, right? But find something that you'll like. Okay. I guarantee you there's more tasty food outside. Okay. But I could also guarantee you they have no interest in your financial future. Okay. So the bars made more sense to me. Okay. Because that bar was going to buy my Mercedes in the future. Okay. Or for some of you guys, it'll pay off your student loans or whatever it may be. Okay. Whatever small or big goal you're looking to do, it starts with those small habits. And when you start those habits and when you automate it, your team is going to follow your lead. All right. So you want to start getting into that mindset. Okay. The Night Owl calls are one of the biggest things, and it's the biggest separators in the business. Okay. Getting into Amway is very, very easy. Okay. It literally is, yes, I want to do this. Here's $200. Okay. Anyone could get into the business. Okay. But when you're in the business, when you're in this inner circle, you want to continue to separate yourself. Okay. There's a reason why less people become diamonds than platinums. Okay. To kind of put that, there's a reason few people make big money and a little bit more make less money. Okay. Not because the Amway business is hard. Okay. It's because the people that have made the big bucks decided to separate themselves within that inner circle. All right. What they did was they automated their good habit. They say, you know what, if I'm going to have a chance to, even if it's 5 minutes, to sit down with a multimillionaire, I'm going to take that chance. Okay, the reason Shabir's business is where it's at is because anywhere in the world something's happening, somehow this guy shows up. I have no idea how he does it. Okay, he like calls me every now and then. Oh, there's something happening in Australia, and there's like 3 people sitting over there from his team, right? Ganesh Shenoy is going to be in UK. For some reason, he has 4 people at his open meeting. There's a reason Shabir's business is what it is today. Okay, it is not by accident. Okay, he had already automated those good habits. Okay, so get into that habit, right? The second part is the standing order seat. Again, what Shabir mentioned, right? To qualify for the night call, you want to get your volume in, and you want to be on something called the standing order program. Okay, I'm not going to cover too much because Shabir covered it excellently what it is. But what is it that I got out of it? Why did I decide to get on the standing order program? Okay, the CD that you get. Okay, actually, let's take it one step back. You know, what is the idea? Why would you want to listen to a CD? Okay, what does the CD do for it? I'll tell you what the CD did for me. If I ever wanted to talk to Rashmi, okay, or if I ever wanted to talk to Ganesh and say, you know what, this is a problem I'm having in my business, right? Maybe I'm having trouble making contacts, or maybe I'm not really sure. I keep building a team, but it keeps falling down. Maybe I keep sponsoring people, but none of them are sticking around. All I do is I go into my BSM, type in some keywords, and right on my BSM account, I could hear what Rashmi has to say about that. Okay, or I could say, you know what, Rick Fairchild, how did he deal with situations like that? Okay, all those multimillionaires are right here. Okay, this 4x whatever piece of plastic can help you build a global empire if you use it properly. Okay? A lot of people are playing Candy Crush. A lot of people are taking Snapchats on this. Okay, Rashmi, when I met Rashmi, we were sitting at a coffee shop when he invited me to Atlanta. By the time I walked over to grab my coffee and came back, he showed me a text message. You broke 3 new silvers in the UK. So by the time I walked I grabbed myself a coffee and came back, his income jumped by almost 100 grand. Again, this stuff doesn't happen by accident. Okay, and again, it started small. Now that he's been doing this for a while, those automated habits have kind of propelled on itself and grown into a lot of success. It is going to happen for anyone. It's there for you guys. Okay, so being able to listen to these people, and there's a reason he built his business and the way his business does that kind of stuff. Again, not by accident. It's because of how he programmed his thinking. Okay, the only difference between the average worker, maybe someone that makes a little bit of money versus a lot of money, isn't by their physique, isn't by their looks, isn't by how beautiful their words are. It's by how they think. Okay, he thought a little bit differently, which is why he was able to navigate this game more effectively. Okay, so that's why I got on the standing order CD. Okay, the same CD you get on the standing order is the same CD that Rashmi gets. It's the same CD that Ganesh Shenoy gets. It's the same CD that Rick Fairchild gets. If every single multimillionaire in the Brit worldwide system is listening to this, and you're listening to the same material, what do you think is going to happen to you over the course of 4 months, 5 months, 3 years? Okay, it is going to give you a very unfair advantage against your other peers. Okay, because everyone else within your age group or within your corporate careers have been at the same level. Everyone kind of goes to school where everyone gets a decent job. You had the added bonus of learning how the CEO of the company you're going to get hired for thinks. What do you think is going to happen when you expose yourself to that kind of programming into your brain over the course of 3, 4, 5 years? Okay? Within the first 1-2 months, not much is going to change. Okay, within the next year, you maybe see a little bit difference than what your roommate or what your friend is doing. Okay, 3 years later, 4 years later, you will be playing in a different league. Okay, most people, what they do is if you look at like the NBA versus a high school basketball team. Okay, when the high school basketball team does well, the NBA players don't come back, oh man, this high school kid made more free throws than I did. They don't get mad at that, right? Yes, you didn't make more throws, but he's in a different league. You also will be in a different league if you open yourself to that kind of thinking and that kind of thought process. Okay, so that's what I got out of the standing order. Okay, it is much more than just the money in this business. Okay, and again, I could tell you from personal experience. I was actually invited by my company to do a talk. Okay, not because I'm special, not because I've done anything more amazing than anyone on this call can do. Only because I've been programming my brain the way multimillionaires think. And actually, Rishabh was there, right? Literally everything that I was able to say, I had copied and pasted from the books and CDs that I learned. And that is the same opportunity, the same resources that you have. Okay, so kind of bringing it back full circle, right? The second week night owl call. Okay, it automates good habits. When you automate your habits, you will have long-term, predictable, and sustainable businesses. Okay, if you just kind of say, you know what, let me just push some volume, let me go to someone in my team and motivate the hell out of them, and then, you know, pop comes 40 points. Yeah, maybe you may be able to do that once or twice, all right? Maybe 3 times if you're really, really good with your words. You can't fool people for too long, okay? If I didn't do my volume, all right, some of you guys that have been able to come to my house, if I come to your house and you see, I see Nutrilite there, but you come to my house and you see Centrum and Red Bull, how long can you fool someone, right? How long of a business do you think that's going to last? Okay. So the second week night owl call gives you the opportunity to build that up. Okay. Again, these are long-term goals. Okay. Your first month you qualify, don't say, hey, I qualified the night owl call. Where's my $1 million check? All right. Maybe 1 month you'll get into the habit. Maybe 3 months you'll still do it. Okay. But it is the long-term thing. Okay. Again, the reason Nasser is a brand new 1,000 PV is because 6 months ago, he said, I am never going to miss a night owl call. Okay. First month, it might not have made a difference. Second month, probably not as much. Third month, maybe he was a little bit ahead of someone else. 6 months, 8 months down the line, he is, past some of the people that got started before him. Okay. Again, not by accident. There's a reason that happened. Okay. So kind of, again, bring it back circle. See how, you'll get the opportunity to meet these kind of people. You want to see how you could get on these night owl calls. Okay. There's also a 4th week night owl where the big guns come in. Okay. Rashmi, usually in his 4th week night owl calls, does a global call. Right. So we have about 300-400 people connect from different parts of the world. Rashmi and Smith are probably the only ones that talk. Okay. And just being exposed to their way of thinking, right? See, the average person, when we plan vacations, we're like, we're going to go to Motel 8. We're going to get like a cheap place. We're going to fit 47 people in a room to break down the cost. Okay. Rashmi in 2020 is planning to rent a castle in Switzerland for all of his global emeralds and above. Okay. The way we plan Motel 8 parties, all right, he's planning renting castles. Okay. Not by accident. Okay. Maybe the first year he started business, he may not have seen that. Maybe the second year, he may have saw a little bit of success. But again, 5, 10, 12 years down the line, he is in a different league of people around the same age. And you guys, when you automate those habits and you get on these night owl calls and you qualify for these higher level calls that are becoming up, right? And even these bigger level conference and leadership events, right? Like Dream Team Leadership. I know Shabir was able to come for the first time with us, right? You're in the circle. You have access to the 1%. Keep differentiating yourself from the rest of the group. Okay. Not everyone in this business goes diamond. Not because they can't, but because of the nature of people. Okay. The ones that have reached the top and the ones that have created the highest level of success keep differentiating themselves and moving themselves closer and closer to the inner circle. Okay. But again, years down the line, they got the success. But it started from the small activities they did when they were 100 PV in the business or 300 PV in the business. Okay. Success later down the line doesn't happen by accident. Okay. So again, I'm just going to wrap this up then. So second week night owl, see how you can qualify for it. 50 PV for students, 100 PV for professionals, and you want to be on your standing order profile. Okay. If you have any questions on that, speak to the person that's helping you. They can walk you through it. But again, to kind of add a little bit of salt, take everything that was said with a grain of salt. Okay. When I got on these calls, I felt very uncomfortable because I felt every time Rashmi or Gaurav said something, I felt like beads of sweat going down my forehead because like, oh man, he's talking about me. Okay, it's okay. All right, this call wasn't intended to kind of, you know, blow up your spot. It is intended to show you what you can get out of the same vehicle that everyone else has access to, okay, and how to use it the most proper way. Okay, so maybe you missed a goal. It's okay. Keep fighting towards getting that goal done. Okay, it may not happen once, may not happen twice. Every single goal I've ever set in this business since the day I got started, I've missed. Every single one. Okay, Rashmi told that too. Rashmi's an executive diamond. Every single goal he had ever set, he missed. Okay, but he was still falling forward. Okay, that's the same option you guys have. Cool. With that, I'm pretty much done. I'm going to open up for just like a minute or so for any questions, and I think with that we can wrap it up. All right. So, any questions from anyone about anything that was spoken about today? No. Cool. All right then. Wonderful. So you guys have a good night then. We'll leave it at that. And yeah, you guys take care. Good night.